too have the power of a god.
I got loyalty inside my DNA. I got loyalty inside my DNA. I got peace, got war and peace inside my DNA. I got poison, pain, and joy inside my DNA.
神羅転生
I was born in this world. Immaculate conception that your family is perform like this without you and your weapon. I know you. I meditate that hunger. It's that I got loyalty inside my DNA. I got peace, got war and peace inside my DNA. I got poison, pain, and joy inside my DNA.
いい加減おとなしく切られやがれ
I was born in this immaculate conception that your family is perform like this without you and your weapon. I know you. I meditate that hunger. It's that is the pain. It's that I got loyalty.
いつもからキレキ一切穴があったら入りたい
Loyalty inside my DNA.
You know, that intro has no business going that hard. I'm always I get to it, and then it ends, and
this looks like that this is how we start every single show. We come on the show.
Locked in on the intro. Like, God. Yo, what's good? We are back live with another episode of Anime Court. We have brought our only friend that could probably keep us in line because otherwise we do this all the time. You've seen us yesterday going back and forth, and today we back to actually argue in court. So, you know, we brought Monohoke as a judge because who better as judge? Before we get started today, I just want to throw a special shout out to my boy Jay Will. Happy anniversary. And another special shout out to Shona, the grill master, the meat master, as he was referred to. It was his birthday this week, and you know, we love our people. So we just want to say happy birthday and happy anniversary. Before I kick his ass in court. His ass.
Dang, yes, happy anniversary. Happy birthday, babe.
The happy anniversaries and birthdays. Yes, fantastic. Love it.
You know, before we get down to business, we got to start with the formalities and, you know, wish our niggas a happy birthday, happy anniversary and everything. And then we get into the lies that you're going to tell about a liar.
I mean, the way I see it, you bring this type of stuff upon yourself. If you go around telling as many lies and committing as much fraud as you do as Usopp of the Straw Hat Pirates, and yes, he is a pirate, then you have this smoke coming. I'm sorry. I am all about being fair when it comes down to anime court. And unfortunately, as much as I love Usopp, like that is one of my favorite Straw Hats. It's one of my favorite characters in the show. It's the truth. He's a criminal. He's one of the biggest criminals on the show. And unfortunately, we have to throw the book at him because we got a book.
Which book? Is it the book that he tells or writes down all the Straw Hat adventures? Is the book about a simple man who does simple things and he's along for a journey? Is this a book about the greatness of Usopp? Because God Usopp did nothing wrong.
I mean, that right there is a bit of a problem in itself. We're calling him God Usopp. Like you know what?
They called him God Usopp.
I will save this for when we actually have charges. Let's go ahead and finish doing the thing. I am the allegedly nice man from Ohio, Black Zorro. I'm here to. We got to put Usopp in jail. I'm sorry. Like I said, I love the man to death, but he got to go. He must be stopped.
I feel like Usopp's gonna get off. Judge, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Let's go for it before we get into this. What's good, y'all? It's Princess Monohoke, here to be as impartial as possible. We'll see how it goes.
We will see how it goes. As a black man named Black Zorro tries to put a black man in jail. I am Maul, your favorite friendly neighborhood menace, and as you can see, I am here on the side of good, minus the Akatsuki gear, just because I needed something to wear to go out in the rain. But yeah, I'm here to defend justice all over again.
Hold on, Your Honor. Can we talk about the fact that he just flagrantly tried to pull some anime or farming nonsense by running outside in the rain in the Akatsuki gear? There's gotta be.
I was told to retire these flags, and I retired them the best way I could in the rain. No one seen me.
I'm gonna have to agree with the plaintiff here. It is a bit diabolical that you're running outside in the Katsuki gear in the rain. Very dramatic. It's very much so given Sasuke.
All he's missing is the hat, the straw wicker hat with the bells. That's
You wear cloud when it's cloudy. I smoke clouds when it's cloudy. Your Honor, that's what you do. It's not rain.
I don't know. The emo levels are still on the Sasuke scale. I'm so sorry.
That's gonna be a great day.
you gotta All right.
Really just
Are y'all ready to get into these charges? Are y'all ready to hear the book that is thrown at this man?
The book of fables that is thrown at Usopp. Go ahead. I'm here for it.
All right, let's begin. So we have him charged with intimidation, piracy, threats, treason, disturbing the peace, fraud, weapons manufacturing, and vigilantism. Quite a stacked case. I'm very interested to see the evidence that you guys present today. I got my handy dandy notebook. Let us get started.
I mean, it's the truth. And if I may start with one of his earliest crimes, it's the disturbing the peace and fraud. This took place all the way back in his hometown of Syrup Village. The man ran through town the same time every day, almost like an alarm maybe, but it was a situation where this was a quiet little village on an island in the middle of nowhere, essentially. And he's just running through it every single day, screaming, "The pirates are here! The pirates are here!" Causing a ruckus, causing a scene. Eventually, there were pirates. And because of this boy / man, by the time he got to be old, by the time he was getting ready to leave the island, he's got the city in a state where they are not prepared to defend themselves in this type of scenario. The disturbing the peace on a regular basis like this, the fraud that eventually led to the Coral pirates attacking Kaya in the city, these are all things that can be laid at the feet of Usopp. And because of the lies that he told during that time frame.
Interesting.
Your Honor, if I could, I would like to get a little backstory on Usopp. So the red hair pirates came in and his dad left. So, another tragic case of a black man without a father, not having enough guidance. His mom was dying on her deathbed to make her smile. He said, "The pirates are coming. The pirates are coming." Not to alarm the village, but to tell his mom the lie that his dad was coming back to see her off before she died. As she was sick and she lay there dying, that was all he could think to do to make his mama smile and to try to bring back joy and peace. And he thought to himself, if I could bring back my dad, because he thought pirates were attacking, he would come back as soon as he could. His dad wasn't too far. Like the island that he actually stayed at for a long while after he left Usopp was pretty close. And he talked about Usopp all the time. So when Usopp's friend wound up meeting him, that's what bonded them. Their shared love and adventure over the stories of meeting his dad and everything else. This man wasn't lying to bring disturbance. He was lying to bring a smile to his mom and to his people around him. It just became so much public knowledge that everybody just assumed he's just saying that his dad's coming. They let it ride, not because he was disturbing the peace, but because he was a kid who his parents, one parent left, one parent died on him, tragically so. That's not a case of a man who's lying. That's a case of a man who's trying to make the village a better place because he just wants his parents back. Keep in mind, Usopp was 17 when we first encountered him in the story.
I mean, all of that's cute and all, but the fact that it's a situation where, yeah, he says that to make his mom smile on her deathbed, that's tragic. It's commendable even to try and even give her that hope, I guess. But at the same time, you can't just go ahead and take to the streets every single day, unsanctioned, unwanted, running around screaming this thing that would be an emergency. You can't run into the movie theater and yell fire every single day without repercussions. That's not how things work.
If the village knows that it's him and why he's doing it, that wasn't as much of a disturbance as it was a nuisance in the middle of the day.
I mean,
If the average person is asking you for money outside of 7-Eleven, it's not a crime. It's immoral for them to be sitting there asking you for money when they have nicer shoes and nicer clothes than you. And you're looking like, nigga, I just got off work in these dusty ass work boots and you got on brand new Jordans and you asking me for $1 outside the 7-Eleven? How dare you?
You're not talking about Usopp in this scenario. You just said the boy was essentially an orphan running around doing this.
Right. The boy is essentially an orphan.
Okay,
He's an orphan who hangs around the village with other orphans.
Okay, and at the end of the day, after a certain point, you have to teach this child, hey, it's not okay to tell us that there's an emergency every single day.
Who's going to teach him that? The dad who left him or the mama who died on him?
And at that point, it either needs to be a situation where he is placed into some sort of home or looked after by the people. And it looks like it was the latter in this case of Usopp, right? So from here, we have to, especially at 17 years old, we have to establish some sort of accountability. You can't be doing that at this point in time. You're in a position where you're old enough to know better. You were old enough to know better.
There was no mayor to teach him. There was no city ordinance. There was no nothing, no sign posted, nothing. People just got sick of hearing it. They just kind of tuned it out.
And look what happened. Exactly what is like the first time that he did it, he was running through the village. The people came out up in arms. They were ready to fight. And then nothing. That's the point right there. We get to that. And then all of a sudden, Captain Coral comes into town and is here with an actual group of pirates with nothing short of murder on his mind. And nobody's doing anything because when Usopp decided to raise the alarm that time, this man already done blew all of his credibility.
Right. But the third smartest man in all the East Blue the third smartest person in all of East Blue tried to corrupt and stop him. Yes, that plan was going to go down no matter what.
That's what happened because the third smartest person in East Blue, which, by the way, that's a conversation that we need to have at a different time because the third smartest person in East Blue is not speaking for much considering that is essentially the stakes. But I digress. You basically still made it easy for this allegedly third smartest person by lowering the guard of the people whose town he was attacking by raising the false alarm every single day. This is specific. This right here is the reason why we say don't pull the fire alarm when there's no fire. Because
you're mad at the boy who literally cried pirate instead of crying wolf.
You live in a world while the pirates are scrubs, they're still pirates. It's a situation where you still have to take that threat seriously because you're not a bunch of military personnel. You have to realize that you came through and basically showed the reason why you should not be the boy who cried wolf. Usopp needs to be held accountable for these actions because he's done them and they've told him to stop. You can say that, oh, it was cute and there was a nuisance, but no, Usopp was, I guarantee you that Syrup Village incident happens way differently when you don't have Usopp running through the village every fucking day saying the pirates are coming.
Question, Your Honor. Have you seen the live action? Because it looked like Koro was definitely more capable in the live action versus the anime. And in the anime, he seemed like he was very easily stopped. In live action, there was nothing that they were going to do to stop him. Even if Usopp were to run through the village, he had a whole team of people. He invaded the mansion. He did everything he could and needed to. There was nothing he could have done. The only reason that Koro was stopped was because Luffy was there. And that comes down to they were only there because Usopp was there and told them how they could get a ship. Otherwise, they would have kept going.
Okay. So I have seen the live action, but I have a question for the plaintiff. Are you implying that Usopp is responsible for the Koro pirates or them getting access to the village because of him lying that the pirates are on their way? Is that the point you're making?
It's mostly the latter. I would like to hold him responsible for the actions of Captain Kuro and his ilk. Unfortunately, it was literally just a situation where the only reason their plan went off as easily as it did was because of Usopp. And unfortunately, I can't hold him responsible for their conspiracy. But I need to be able to hold him culpable for his part in making sure that that went down as badly as it did. As a matter of fact, now I sit back and think about it, didn't Captain Kuro specifically look at Usopp and say, nobody's gonna believe you?
He did. Because he got away from not saying Morgan. This wasn't a problem of Usopp. This was a problem of the Marines and the government not dealing with their problems personally. If they faced down Captain Kuro,
I will concede that there's an overarching issue when it comes down to the bureaucracy of the Marines, but that's not what we're on trial for here. It's a situation where Usopp did what he did, and he needs to be held accountable for it because he shouldn't be out here doing it.
All right.
So you're upset at a 17-year-old for lying?
Yes.
Now wait a minute.
I can irritate with my 15-year-old for lying. What am I not? What do you mean?
Defense.
I don't know.
Are you saying that Usopp is not responsible for this because he is let me check my notes. He is a 17-year-old orphan with daddy issues.
He's a 17-year-old orphan that was playing pirate with kids, and the fact that people took him serious showed more about the credibility of the village and less about the credibility of him. When he first did it, there was more of a response, or there should have been a bigger response because the red-haired pirates were just there. So that's the reason that the pirates are coming hit so much harder, because pirates had just visited. Up until that point, afterwards, pirates had never visited. But Usopp kept them on their toes every day. If you came out to at least check that boy's his warning, you would have at least came out and seen. The fact that the red-haired pirates were able to get in and out and take not only the smartest person, second, is Ben Beckman the first or the second smartest person? Nami's the smartest person in the East Blue, isn't she?
Beckman's first, Nami's two, and then it would be Kuro. I believe that is how it broke down.
All right, cool. So you took not only the smartest person in the East Blue, but the best sharpshooter off the island in the East Blue. Period. Because that's essentially what he did when what's the name? Shanks was going through recruiting niggas. When he took their only protection, then Usopp was the one with the early warning system. Up until that point, and even afterwards, there's nothing really on Syrup Village. There's no reason anybody comes there. Not even the world government goes there.
Ben Beckman's not from Syrup Village, and even if
no, but Ben Beckman's from the East Blue, and they came across that way.
What's Ben Beckman got to do with this? When these events took place, he wasn't even on the island. Even if you want to say that Usopp was the early warning system, I guarantee you that is not the man who we saw in some of the most recent chapters of One Piece. That is not the same person. He's still a rat. He still says He still looks around and says fatherhood, but the sea is calling. That's still him. But he's not, he's not doing what he's doing to the Bartow Club in East Blue. That's not
if he's not there to help defend the island, who else would you put as the best defense of the island? Because the next best defense of the island of all of Syrup Village would honestly be Usopp.
I refuse to sit here and let you say that the man who left to go get milk and didn't come back when his wife was about to die was the best defense of the island. That's not, no. It's not. These two things are not the same.
And how many of those villagers did you see came out to be capable of stopping anything that happened in Syrup Village? Because Koro Sensei was about to go on a run of a lifetime.
Hey. Kuro Sensei, our mini tentacle friend, was nowhere near that island at this point in time.
My bad. Not Kuro Sensei. I got them confused because that's the voice actor. But Kuro was about to go, Captain Kuro was about to go, like, he was about to go undefeated. Who was going to check him? He beat the nearest Navy captain and then got on his way to the island. As the third smartest person there, all you had was an early detection system. And knowing that, hey, this is going to fail, I had no reason to not believe that I'm going to get away with it.
This man had
Keep in mind,
this man had one ship, was on one side of the island, and we knew that that Kaya had access to a ship in the Going Merry. Or if they get the word out or soon enough, they are no longer there.
Yeah, but the Marines were super far away.
Who cares about the Marines? That's not what this is about. If it's a situation where we get Kaya off the island, the mission, Kuro's mission's moot. He then has to immediately leave the island to go either A, escape on his own, or B, kill her and try to execute his plan anyway. In either case, this buys enough time for the Marines to get to the island to defuse the situation.
Does it? Because it took them almost the entire day to sail from where the base was of the nearest Marines to Syrup Village.
Okay.
And that's shown because it was a 24-hour period of when Luffy got from rescuing Zoro to getting to Syrup Village. It was all in one day.
That was one day. Exactly. But that's beside the point. I mean, what are you trying to say here? Are you saying that the Marines were 2-3 days away from there?
I'm saying that the Marines had no alarm detection. There were no. In every shot that we've seen, the only person that has some sort of snail alarm or snail phone is Kaya, and she sick and was about to get killed. There was no way that anybody would have been able to get any kind of alert or any kind of alarm.
Do you concede that it's possible that with enough warning, had Usopp not been running around and basically raising all these false alarms, that they could have warned, that Kaya could have got warned and they could have gotten to the Going Merry?
No, because there was no way that she was ever going to be able to do any of that. Koro would have killed her. Like, hands down, his plan was about to go off with a success.
When he decided to injure Mary and then leave the house for some odd and unknown reason, versus just executing his plan then and there. Look, let's be real. We talk about Captain Kuro being the third smartest person in East Blue. His actions do not paint him in that type of way. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, if we are in a position where Usopp says, hey, the pirates are coming, Captain Kuro's a bad guy, I just saw him acting up on the shore with Django. If we're in a position where where Usopp's not an established liar every single day, versus it being a situation where he's just telling the girl stories to make her feel better, if that's what's happening here, then a threat like that would be taken seriously. Instead, we have Usopp on the record running through town every day, making a nuisance of himself, causing a problem. There's no way that you can believe this man for an early warning system. But if you could believe him, Mary is not injured. Kaya is off the island safe. The Going Mary, we know, has a snail phone on it. There's many ways that this whole thing gets blown up if we have this man not running through the city every day.
First day that we met Usopp, did the pirates not come? Did Zoro, Nami, and Luffy not show up? Or those not the pirates?
Time out. Only one of the three individuals that we have named, that you named right there, is considered a pirate. The other one's alleged. The other one's been cleared.
Did you or did you not prove that Nami was a pirate? Because that was not alleged when we went up the court.
She is a pirate singular.
So what is Luffy?
And at that point in time, obviously not a very well known one, because no one raised the alarm. Not even Usopp, the liar who raised the alarm on Kuro.
Nah, he definitely raised the alarm and told them that we have an army sitting here. Like, all lies.
Look, I believe I already made my point here at this point. Do we have any other charges that we want to go over, Your Honor?
Yes, we have plenty. I think we've only gotten through disturbing the peace and we've discussed fraud, but I've only gotten one instance of both of those. Okay, he ran through Serb Village. He caused a disturbance. That's one example. What else you got for me, plaintiff?
For the disturbing the peace charge?
Yeah, that's all you got for me, just Serb Village?
I mean, that's the one thing that I wanted to focus on. We only got an hour here.
Okay. So give me some more examples of this fraud. Because we have fraud listed twice. So you felt very strongly about that.
Well, the Serb Village fiasco is really just kind of one form of fraud. But unfortunately, it's really just kind of the test bed for the various cases of fraud that he has gone on to, perpetrate throughout his time running around as a Straw Hat pirate. May I emphasize that he is indeed a pirate. Where my notes go, because it's important. Unfortunately, this is not a...
Your Honor, I would like to point out that the only lie that Usopp has ever told is that he is a pirate captain. That's it. Every other thing that he said has come true or in some shape or form. He told this woman that giant goldfish poop so big you can run on it. And what did they do, Your Honor? They ran on that goldfish poop.
I'm not going to say that the little white lies that he told Kaya and all that fun stuff coming true is not nifty, but unfortunately I can't necessarily charge him with that type of thing. However, when it comes down to the pirate captain thing, that's not true. He was actually a pirate captain for a period of time. He captained the Usopp pirates, and while they were in a position where they did not have a ship, they flew a black flag. And we already know that flying a black flag, No. We already know that flying a black flag in that world is tantamount to piracy, because we have the example of the world nobles firing a goddamn cannon on a child.
Who was on a ship? Who was on a ship? Usopp is one dude lying in a village.
Skull and bones on it, as Usopp, Onion, and the rest of those little children were doing, is tantamount to a crime in that world. They would have been considered pirates, and Usopp was their captain.
They were considered children running around playing pirates.
Not to mention, as far as the piracy charge is concerned, he's out here creating weapons for the known pirate. We already established that Nami is a pirate, and he is out here creating the weapons, the climate attack, all three versions of them. Those are creations of Usopp.
That's not a weapon, Your Honor.
Can't be going out here. You're out here creating weapons, and you're out here creating weapons for a known pirate.
It's an instrument. It's not a weapon. The way she uses it is more of a weapon. The fact that it can be used for a child's party, and it can be used to measure weather and everything else, and it's used as a vessel to hold a cloud, does not necessarily... If you make a sword, You are not charged as the wielder and holder of making said sword. You don't get charged at all. You're just a blacksmith. You're saying he made an invention, he made a gadget, he worked on something, and she used it to defend herself. Well, that's a great use of something. If I make a lamp and you use it to bust somebody upside their head, I am not necessarily a weapon maker because you used the lamp that I made to bust somebody upside their head.
So, in your mind, the Climatact, a device that is on the record as shooting lightning, generating rain and thunder, and attacking known emperors of the seas, and not to mention just being a nifty little bludgeoning instrument. You're saying that the repeated use of that thing for these actions don't make it a weapon. It'd be different if it was like a one-off type of a deal. No, this is something that she uses regularly. Keeps it on her hip, actually.
Yeah, a pole that she breaks down into three different pieces.
So, yeah, because they're useful. You know that each one of the pieces creates either cold air or hot air, which she uses to create clouds, ergo thunder, and aim at that shit. You're trying to pretend like it's
that's a stretch because she learned to control the weather with a pole. You're using that as a weapon.
Now hold on, plaintiff. You got to give me another example. I'm gonna have to agree with the defense. It was created for party tricks and parlor tricks. It was not created to be a weapon.
No, if you go back to the first episode where she pulled it out and is trying to use it, yes, she is going through the list of things that it can do because the first section of it was party tricks. But then later on in the fight, she gets to the bottom of it, and then there are the list of things that she can use are attacks. It's a weapon. It's always
to defend herself and a defense of herself. If it's used as a party trick,
the point. It's not just something that is used in defense. We already know Nami goes around assaulting people with that thing. It's a weapon.
But that's a case of the wielder and not a case of the maker.
It will be different if he made the first Climatact, found out that she was beating people in the head with it, and stopped. He made two more.
She beat people in the head and she came back and said, upgrade this.
Exactly.
Like,
that's the problem.
And he still didn't turn it into a weapon. There's no sword on the end. There is no gun that it fires. It holds a sentient lightning cloud that gets sent out to go fight.
Comes out of the damn thing. The Thunderbolt Temple, that's definitely makes it a lightning gun.
No, she mixes weather together to make thunderbolts happen. That is that's a scientific fact that she has to use and know.
She uses to make a projectile.
I don't know, my boy, because at the end of the day, that takes her brains and her ingenuity. Because if you gave it to me, I would use it as a party trick.
Which is fine if you're in a position where, you know, you want to own the gun and not do anything with it. But the idea here is you said that Usopp made it as a means for her to defend herself. That sounds like the actual use of a weapon to me.
That sounds like you have a party trick that can be whacked across the motherfucker's head because it's a pole. A pole can always be smacked up somebody's head. I can make you a plate in pottery class, and if you smash it over my head, that's then a weapon.
The empty alcohol bottle does not have the capability to shoot someone.
No, but an empty bottle has the same capability to go upside your head.
Yeah, but it doesn't have. But so does a pole. Look, you're trying to equate the Climatact as just this random gadget that does these things. It's not that.
Usopp is a boy who runs around lying with a slingshot, and that's it. A bunch of lies and a slingshot.
Let's get into Kabuto because he made that bitch too. You know that thing is actually a plant that he grew to be able to go ahead and eat things and then fire them back at his opponent, or if he were to attach water to it, it gets bigger so he can actually shoot larger pieces of ammunition at it. It's got dials in it. It is in there built to be a weapon. The slingshot by itself.
You mean the man who slingshots plants and seeds around like poison ivy?
And what do those things do when they make contact? Hell, he has a technique called bomb grass star. If you fling out something that is going to knowingly explode when it makes contact with something else, that definitely makes it a weapon. I don't care if it is a plant and it grows that way. That's not what. No.
Your Honor, I would like to point out that not all his plants that he uses are weapons and can't all blow up. I would point to the exhibit of stopping the ship as it was sliding down at Mach speed. That motherfucker was going to crash right the fuck off the island. And the newest arc of Elbad that we are in, as he was going off the lavosphere with Dr. Vegapunk. He's right there. Lilith is like, yo, we got to stop this ship. Brooke had nothing. Brooke's sitting there laughing. And Usopp stopped an entire ship with nothing but plants. These plants weren't dangerous. They just grew. So you're telling me that things that grow naturally are dangerous? You're telling me that this man replanting the forest is an issue with a slingshot? You're trying to tell me how he's dangerous with a slingshot, some plants, and some lies. Please explain to me how this man who travels around the sea with one dream, he has one dream, not to be a great pirate, not to do anything else, to be a brave warrior of the sea. And all he's doing is slingshotting around plants.
See,
what's this man doing wrong?
So I would like to tell you what that is. So he talks about being a brave warrior of the sea, but let's go ahead and go into the warrior aesthetic that he wants to do. I'll come back to the plants because the plants are a weapon too. He grows them and uses them to. It's honestly biological warfare. I could
conjecture. You're saying what he uses them for, as if they aren't plants.
But again, I don't have the time to go into the amount of nonsense that the pop greens are. I should have put that in there. But in regards to the warrior, that actually leads directly into the vigilantism and treason. So the man puts on a mask to storm a government island, and on the orders of an alleged pirate, shoots the flag of the world government, declaring war and outing him. Objection. What?
Your Honor, that's not him. That's Sniper King. So you're telling me you're putting Usopp on trial and Sniper King on the same trial?
Usopp
those are two different people.
Actually, hence the vigilantism. He put on a
Stop
mask.
it, Your Honor. That's a different man from Sniper Island. Sniper King comes from Sniper Island. So now he's telling me that these aren't two different people. Sniper King shot down the flag.
Okay, so during the infiltration of the Straw Hat Pirates, because they are the Straw Hat Pirates, into the sea train on its way to Enies lobby, was that not Usopp who entered the train?
Don't think it was. I think that was Sniper King, as he referred to himself as.
Sniper King did not appear until that train was in the middle of the fucking ocean.
Yeah. And Usopp left on Water 7.
This is
no, Usopp was on Water 7.
And you would expect anyone of any level of sanity, of any level of comprehension to a situation that's happening, to not realize that this man literally just put on one of the cipher pole mask and a sheet, essentially, to more so make it to where his honor was intact whilst basically breaking and entering into a government facility?
That was him.
Hell, his friend, the people who he broke in with on a regular basis called him Usopp multiple times during the incursion.
And he referred to himself as Sniper King. He openly said, I am not Usopp. I am Sniper King.
I'm all for people identifying as who or whatever they would like to. However, in the eyes of the law in this particular situation, you cannot put on a mask, say you are somebody else, and expect to get away with the crimes that you commit. You are not Batman.
I don't know. Batman gets away with it all the time.
And pretending to be Batman in itself is vigilantism. So if we're talking about being a warrior of a brave warrior of the sea, why are you out here hiding your face? And to be sure, I think it's already a situation where the government has established that Sniper King is actually Usopp, because they no longer call him that. They call him by the epithet that he actually did pick up because of the major fraud that he committed on Dressrosa by starting a cult and going by God Usopp. That is, look. I can't charge you with starting a cult.
Vigilantism or starting a cult, because I'm starting to get confused.
I can't charge him with starting a cult, is what I said. But the vigilantism,
and you can't charge him for vigilantism either. Sniper King's a different person.
He's out here he throws on a mask and is running around fighting allegedly crime. That is what Sniper King's deal was. He was there to help the Straw Hats save Robin in the guise of a superhero. That is not, if that is not vigilante.
Objection!
Your Honor, I would like to bring to the court the idea that Luffy and Usopp got into a fight. Usopp said, I quit. I quit being your friend. I quit being a part of your ship. I quit being a part of your crew. Right then and there. He was left right then and there. He told them, I would like to rejoin, to continue to get to my goal and my journey along the sea. He did not ever say, I want to continue to be a pirate. He said, I'm sorry, because they would not let him back on the ship. Now, Zoro said, yo, if you let him back in, I'm out. But he never said that to Sniper King, because Sniper King is a different person. He even fought alongside Sniper King, but he did not fight alongside Usopp in Water 7, except in Water 7 when Usopp got robbed. That's where Usopp was left at. You cannot charge him against Sniper King because they identify as two different people. And in this court, misogyny and mispronounced people will not be accepted.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
I agree with you on that. Unfortunately, it was a situation where when the sea train took off and Sanji and Usopp and Frankie, well, not even Frankie, because I believe Frankie was captured at that particular. No.
Frankie was captured.
Was Frankie captured when they originally got on there?
Yeah, that's why the Frankie family wanted.
So when Sanji and Usopp snuck onto the ship, Usopp snuck onto that ship as Usopp. He stayed saying he was Usopp until Sanji got onto the phone with his captain and said, hey, we're going after Robin. This is what's happening. And as Usopp hears that information, the train's in the middle of the ocean. He can't go anywhere except to cover his face and run around essentially in a brown paper bag to hide his shame. As a Browns fan, I understand the sentiment. Okay. Sometimes I do want to put my head in the bag as well. But the problem here is I can't go out and commit crimes after that and then pretend I was someone else. That's not, we know it was Usopp. There was nobody else to go there. Two people came onto the back of the sea train. Two people came out of the back of the sea train. It doesn't matter if one of them was wearing a mask at that point.
It does matter because we seen said sea train get stopped and we seen said sea train get cut in half where a lot of people were left behind. You know who was not left behind? Sniper King. He even has a theme song from Sniper Island. Are you going to tell me that banger of a theme song does not actually count and that this isn't a separate person? Because I have two separate Funko Pops. So now I'm not allowed to have two separate Funko Pops because Usopp and Sniper King have never been in the same room.
So we also have visual evidence that they are the same person, okay, facial recognition, I suppose, may be impossible, but the weapon recognition is definitely the same. The body profile, the same. It's not a situation where we can say that
If his best friend did not recognize him, I would say that that's not a person. I would go out on the limb and say I would recognize my best friend anywhere. Shit, I'd recognize y'all in the cosplay. Y'all have never not known me as me, even as I walked up and whatever I have on. I've walked up on Princess Mononoke in a ghost face mask, and she still identified it as me.
You ever have a real nasty breakup with someone?
Yes.
Okay, so earlier today, you just said that Usopp was not a part of the Straw Hat Pirates at that particular moment in time. I'll concede that. We can go ahead and say that he was no longer part of the Straw Hats at that point. But the breakup itself was incredibly violent, if I'm not mistaken. And it was a point where if anyone was, if it were me, I don't know, I would definitely high empty bus seat this particular individual if it's a situation where they're in my face. And quite frankly, it's okay that Usopp got that type of a treatment because he assaulted his friends. Now, mind you, we're not charging him for fighting Luffy like that. It's a deal between pirates because Usopp attacking that island, even the guise of somebody else shooting down that flag, even if he wasn't Straw Hat at that point, those are definitely still acts of piracy and treason. That's, let's be real here. Doing it on the order of a pirate just kind of, he was following orders. I mean, I can't necessarily say that it's not a situation where Usopp was not only being a pirate at that point, but because he tried to hide his face and act in the name of justice, it was a situation where he is acting as a vigilante in that moment as well. Like, these are two completely separate and opposite things under a normal circumstance. But, Your Honor, he's guilty of both of them. And it's kind of stems from the fact that we're dealing with a person who's dealing with lying and frauding and, just
conjecture, because you've never proven anything as far as a lie. Any lies that you can claim he told have always come true. So if you've told a story and that story comes true, are you still a liar?
I mean,
you say the pirates are coming and the pirates actually show up.
What you're saying implies that one can see the future. Just because you told a lie and it ends up coming true does not necessarily mean that it wasn't a lie. You still told it. You still said these things maliciously without any intent on actually, proving that these things happened prior to you telling the lie. Just because something happens down the line doesn't make you right. It makes you lucky. And
that's also not true, because I say I'll be okay all the time. And I don't know if I'm going to be okay. I have a very crazy president. Like, the government's run by Nazis. We are in a state of disable that we've never seen. Yo, the world got shut down 5 years ago. Like, let's be realistic here. But we still wake up and look at each other in the face and be like, we'll be okay. I will be okay. And we know damn well that you don't know that you're going to be okay. You don't know that shit.
It is fine, but that's not necessarily a lie. That's more of an affirmation. In the case of Usopp, telling a girl that he was once on an island that was eaten by a fish and the poop was so big he could walk on it. Just because it ended up happening doesn't mean that he didn't lie in that instant. He was saying that, hell, a Nolan lie that he said is that he's a descendant of Nolan. We know that man's not a descendant of Nolan, maybe spiritually, but he's definitely not.
Is he not a descendant of Nolan? Because we don't know his actual history and lineage, because we don't know what his dad's lineage and history is.
Which is fair, but to say something like that without any tangible proof, that will be considered a lie. So it's not necessarily a situation where we are dealing with someone who's...
Your Honor, I've met many of bitches and they told me that they mixed with something. They are exotic. Most of these women are only mixed with lies and more lies on top of that. And I have yet to find out what they were mixed with. Yeah.
So speaking
Like,
of the misogyny,
Thank you, plaintiff, for
there's no
pointing out
23 of me that's actually told me
the
that these hoes
courtroom
are actually
after
mixed
he
with anything.
declared that there would be no misogyny. All right, now wait. I've let y'all go on and on. Now, let me see. I'm writing this down. Got my notes, okay? I need examples of the intimidation, all right? We have covered the vigilantism. We have covered the disturbing the peace. We have covered the fraud. We have obviously covered piracy several times. Who has Usopp intimidated?
the intimidation is more so from his epithet and bounty. He would be considered a division commander in the Straw Hat fleet at this particular point in time, with an epithet of God, as well as his performance on Dressrosa earning that title. It's a situation where if Usopp himself were to break off of the Straw Hats and try to do his own thing, the man would have enough charisma and enough gravitas to be able to form his own crew, maybe one even larger than that of his current one. The intimidation factor comes from the fact that he is who he is, and going into a situation where his identity would be public information, that would cause a problem for the townspeople that he would be inflicting that on. If it's a situation where we're looking for a direct reference, the only one that I can think of off the top of my head at this moment is when he was in Wano and he was identified by many of the pirates and revolutionaries that were on the island as God Usopp, his epithet, and they deferred
But
to
he
him.
never made a threat. That man was selling snake oil in Wano. Literally.
And was it not a situation where he was running around on Wano later during the raid, claiming the Conqueror's haki of Big Mom and the others, and then basically because of who he was, people were like, "Oh snap, maybe that did come off of him. We do need to check ourselves." So
you fell for the intimidation factor because you were too weak to understand that, like, where the hockey's coming from. When you get to a certain level, you can tell exactly whose hockey that is. Green Bull knew exactly whose hockey that was from the moment he felt it.
The people who Usopp intimidated were obviously not at that level, and therefore
no, and you shouldn't be there. If you don't understand or you don't know what real power is, then you shouldn't be out there. Usopp is not a pirate. That man is a liar.
I definitely think
worst.
The pirates, the colluding with pirates, the making weapons for them, the acting on their orders on a regular and consistent
Colluding
basis.
with pirates does not count, because if it counted, then Zoro would have went down for piracy, of which we already proven that Zoro is not a pirate. So if colluding with pirates is enough, then we need to run back the trial.
If you would like to appeal my former client's judgments, that's something that we can do at a later point. But the way I see it, if we've already established the man's not a pirate, he was on the ship, using the ship as a taxi service, basically to go on and just find swordsmen to face, and he faced them in an environment that was more beneficial than if he had joined the Marines. Look, we are not here to litigate Roanoa Zoro. We are here to talk about Usopp.
And Usopp is a man who is traveling the sea to be a brave warrior. He is not here to be a pirate. He has never signed up to be a pirate. He signed up to learn to be a sniper so that he can one day meet up with his dad and see his dad. Because Luffy's goal is to meet up with red-haired Shanks, of which his dad, Usopp, happens to be a member of his crew. He's not here to be a pirate. He is not here to cause controversy. Usopp is a part of what is referred to as the weakling trio of the crew to counteract the monster trio of the crew. And in the weakling trio, Usopp will always be referred to by Oda as the weakest member of this whole crew.
So the fact that you include him in this weakling trio, which already includes a known pirate and an alleged drug dealer / pirate, mind you. You want me to just sit here and believe that he's not necessarily a pirate as well?
You want me to believe that someone who is referred to as the weakest one on the ship is intimidating people?
I mean,
is that what I'm hearing?
He's committing fraud on a regular basis. If it's a situation,
but his bounty is higher than the drug dealer whose bounty's only 100.
Where I'm talking to someone, and as far as my mind is concerned, all of the terrible crimes that they're responsible for, they've done because of the rampant lies that this person has actually told. And I'm in a position where I have to believe him. Yes, I don't care if he is, in fact, the weakest person on the ship. In the perception, which is what the problem here is. Easy on my boy Anthony Antonio Chopper. No. He's got his 11 crimes. We'll get to them in a minute. But
listen, all I'm saying is,
my point here is, if it's a situation where we have someone who has on their own volition talked about themselves committing these crimes on a regular basis, would you not want to protect yourself on the off chance that these things are true? Is it not a situation where you're going to be walking around with a heightened guard and a heightened sense of danger if someone who has a 300 million berry bounty is on the ship of a known alleged pirate? And I have to say alleged because we haven't put him on trial yet, but it's look, you want me to believe that Usopp is not capable of intimidating people when he has already done so. Maybe not overtly on the behalf of civilians, and if we have to wrap that charge because these aren't civilians, I understand that. But the point here is, this person, it has a history of piracy, disturbing the peace, fraud and defrauding various individuals, weapons manufacturing. I can't sit
who
here
did he defraud though?
I'm sorry? Who did he defraud? Everyone who he's basically coming in contact with. Hell, he was selling snake oil in Wano. You mentioned this.
Yeah, and for the people who bought it, that was very sad of them to buy it, but it was literally snake oil, which is to be said as
that he was selling it as a cure-all, which in itself is fraud. He defrauded every single one of those individuals in Wano who he sold that shit to.
He sold you a magic cure-all and you believe it.
Most heartbreakingly, the daughter of the revolutionary who was executed falsely in front of a crowd. And all
was he executed fraudly? Because while that's sad, he still stole from people of Wano against the law. He still broke the law of the land. Now, if we're talking about off the land, a lot of what Usopp did.
Hold on. That wasn't him. Kyojuro was absolutely the actual thief. He pretended to be the thief so he can be locked up and get that message out to continue the revolution. We already established that what happened on Wano was a revolution, not necessarily a crime.
What happened on Wano was a coup. And I believe what we went through last time, we established that if a coup is correct, they really can't run back and say what the law is, because the law put it in place.
We established this at the trial of Zoro. It was a coup. Otherwise, Zoro would have been acting as a pirate during that. No, he was acting as a revolutionary.
And a success. So does Usopp not count as a revolutionary? His actions towards the same people of Wano?
That's not necessarily what we're talking about here. We're talking about the fact that he was defrauding people by selling them snake oil.
In a revolution. To help fund the revolution, though? To help fund the coup that was about to happen.
That doesn't necessarily mean that Stalin wasn't a bank thief. I don't know. because the revolution worked. Yes, history is written by the victor, I suppose, and yes, we can charge them as such, but at the same time, we still defrauded these people. It's still a situation where even if they don't want to press charges, I'll even take this with the people from Skype. They don't want to press charges against them for robbing them, but even if it's a situation where that's the case, we have to take these as character flaws. These are things that this man is on the record of doing.
What's he on the record of doing? He didn't defraud these people. He sold them something. It didn't work. If you buy something and it doesn't work, you can bring it back to the store. If I buy a cup and that cup don't drink out of it, I'm taking it back.
He was running a scheme. He was defrauding these people. You notice that there was not a line of people there to bring stuff back to him like a return thing. No, you saw people come back and track down the soba chef that was also a revolutionary, but you didn't come back and see people come back for the snake oil salesman, because the snake oil salesman knows better than to go back to the same spot.
If you buy something from a shiesty salesman, that's a shiesty salesman. Also, that wasn't even Usopp. That was Usopp, which was not him.
It's a known alias of Usopp.
How is it a known alias? How many aliases does it matter? Are you charging him with aliases, or are you charging him as him? Because if the charge is him, it was not brought up as all the aliases that he goes by. It was brought up as him.
Aliases are not an identity. Cut it out. That is not how that works.
I don't know, because the soba shop man was called the soba shop man. If Sanji does something as soba mask, or
I'm not going to stick. This is not about the guises that they were assumed during the revolution of Wano. Okay, this is about the fact that he was actually still defrauding these people. At least with Sanji's cover, he was in a position where he was actually
went undercover to help a revolution and help them gain freedom.
But if it's a situation where I have to sit back and look at everything that everyone did while they were undercover, they're still responsible for these things. Like,
are they? Because then Zoro would have been responsible for the murders that he committed. Yet he wasn't.
The murders that were committed weren't him. And then when it was a situation where he was being falsely arrested, again, we're not here to litigate him, but at this point, if you want to go ahead and charge my client with the self-defense, with his own self-defense in that point, then we can have that conversation later. But my point here is that when it comes down to Usopp, he's done these things. And you keep trying to do about the whataboutisms and everything like that, but again, none of these things are Usopp. If it was a situation where Usopp was actually selling them some sort of an ointment or cream that actually had some sort of medicinal properties, then great. But we know that this was just snake oil. We know that it wasn't doing anything. We know that he was defrauding these people to gain money for the revolution, yes, but at the same time, it was still a crime.
So he put the money that he got from them back into the system, and you're charging him with defrauding the people by using your money to fund the same revolution that freed you and got you the food that you eat, clean drinking water, and everything else.
He wasn't defrauding the poor people of the city. He was defrauding the people who lived in that city. Although, no, he defrauded some poor people too. Let's be real here. Toko had no money. He definitely sold her said snake oil, and we had to watch her run up and try and bring her daddy back to life with it. Look, I understand that that particular incident isn't necessarily his fault, but the fact that at that moment we heard him say that it's not going to do anything, it's not something that's even real, that's
heartbreaking.
It's heartbreaking, but it's also an admission. Like, you can't go around and sell snake oil and claim that you're doing something for people.
No, what he was doing was he was laying low undercover trying to make money to help these people. He wasn't selling it to the poor people. He was selling it to the rich that could afford to buy snake oil and not miss the money that he was going to use to free the people that needed to be free.
unfortunately, just because he's defrauding rich people doesn't mean he's not defrauding people. Okay,
He didn't defraud them. He sold them a faulty product.
I'm the
Selling
first
you a
person
faulty
to say,
product is not necessarily the same as defrauding you. It's selling you a product that just doesn't work.
I
He said
mean,
it's a magic cure-all. Why would you believe something can cure all things at one time? That kind of sounds like you didn't use your common sense and you didn't think to yourself, I live in a world where nothing can cure everything. And this magical thing can cure all of my aches and illnesses in the world.
I mean, we live in a world where we're talking about a person who is a part of the weakling trio with an alleged drug doctor whose dream is to do just that. It's a statement that one must take seriously.
Yeah, from a magical talking reindeer. If reindeer came up to me talking and gave me drugs, I would have to believe you too. But you live in a world where a lot of people don't even see devil fruits necessarily. Like, they're still considered myth to most people. When you're considering and talking about devil fruits don't exist so commonly and openly that the average citizen knows about them. That's why Luffy each time has to explain, I ate a devil fruit and it made me a rubber man. I did this and it made me this. I am able to do this, this, and that. Not everybody on Wano has access to a devil fruit. They have access to a smile fruit, but they don't know that smiles are defective devil fruits.
I will concede that the people of Wano might be a bit ignorant. They do consider the abilities of devil fruits to be something akin to jutsu. That's fine. And honestly, that's not what we're here to talk about. I've said my piece. He sold these people a false product. Even if it was in the name of revolution, it is what it is. The fact of the matter is he did it, and again, should be held responsible.
He sold these people their freedom. That's what he sold. He did not come to any place that did not need to be liberated and give them freedom. He is not a criminal. He's not frauding people. He's a revolutionary who fought for freedom. When are we going to start saying that the black man who fights for freedom is the right way to do things?
If that's what the court finds when it comes down to the defrauding of the people of Wano, then that's fine. I can concede that. I've seen it be a situation where that's kind of how we had to find things. That's fine. But that doesn't do anything else for the people of Dressrosa who followed him because they were under the impression that he was one of the strongest people on the crew. That doesn't.
They were about to die. These niggas had a cage closing in around them, and a revolutionary shows up and says, "Hey, follow me, and I will save you." Nigga, I'm gonna follow you too.
That doesn't do anything for the many people on Fishman Island who essentially were on the same team, who were basically there to watch and see if they were going to actually, destroy the island like they had been prophesied to do. I don't like the deal in the prophecy business. We don't know what's going to happen.
You don't like the deal in locking up a black revolutionary who's just trying to free people? Is what we're saying?
Again,
all this man has done is go around and try to free people in various situations. They did need a revolutionary to come through and provide service to them. So you as a black man trying to put another black man in jail for freeing people. Please, sir, tell me how you as the black man who are free today wouldn't get a black man coming around trying to free you.
Again, if he was involved, if it's a situation where the court wants to find where he was involved in the revolution and therefore can't be held accountable for those actions, I said what I said. That's how the court would find. I'm not an unreasonable individual here, but it doesn't help anyone else that he has lied to prior to that point in time.
Agree to disagree. But I would say that a revolutionary coming through telling me that you're going to save my life and a follow through kind of sounds like you're not lying and defrauding me. It sounds like you did exactly what you said you were going to do.
I mean, I said what I said. At this point, I rest my case.
All right. You got anything else for me? Does the defense have anything else?
Your Honor, I would just like to say that Usopp never defrauded anybody. Usopp came through, he said what he said, and he followed through on what he said. He freed people. He has done nothing wrong. When he allegedly said that the Sniper King was Usopp, prove it. There's no real, actual, tangible proof from the government. There's only word of mouth that a mask was left there and Usopp showed up. But Usopp was left on Water 7. He got into a real emotional fight with his friend who told him he could come aboard to come live out your dreams. Usopp was never invited to be a pirate. Usopp was invited to come find his father and to chase after his dreams, of which he didn't even have a dream until he met the giants and decided, this is what I want to do. He just knew that he couldn't stay on Syrup Village, and he went along to take care of the ship. So when the ship got left and they could no longer sail on the same ship, that he was himself just a man trying to fix it. He was no shipwright. He was no sniper. He is just a man trying to live a dream out. And along the way, he sees a problem and tries to fix it. He tries to alleviate with humor and laughter and fix things and bring people joy. This isn't a criminal. This is a black man trying to do his thing and find his place in the world, find his daddy. And as a night going from a 17-year-old kid who your mama died, your daddy left you, and the village hated you, you have a chance to leave home. You take it. You run into danger. You're still the weakest one out there, but you're still trying and fighting. I don't see this as a man who did something wrong. I see this as a man who's trying to change the world. A man who did nothing wrong while trying to change the world to meet his dad. Rest my case on that, Your Honor.
All right, fellas. You've given me a lot to think on. My notebook is full of notes, okay?
A handy dandy notebook.
Not keeping your client's name out my motherfucking mouth.
Yeah, y'all better watch y'all ass. Apparently, Tony Chopper is a very sensitive subject for some of our people here.
Some of our viewers.
Yeah, watch yourself. All right. I'm ready to rule. All right. So on I'll start from the bottom and work our way up. All right. Let me go to page 3. Okay. There we go. So in terms of the weapons manufacturing, I am going to rule that he is not guilty.
What?
I will explain. He is not guilty for weapons manufacturing because he is allowed to create his own weapons as so long as he is not selling them for business purposes. You are allowed to create your own weapons. You can make a gun at home right now if you want to. You just cannot sell it for profit. Although I will concede to your early argument that the perfect climb attack, the sorcery climb attack, absolutely weapons. The first one, no. First iteration, not a weapon. It was for party favors. Now, the follow-up weapons, absolutely weapons, but he is allowed to create them. He did not sell them to Nami. He gifted them to her. So then we're going to move on to disturbing the peace. Guilty. 100% guilty. However, that is not a crime that is punishable by jail time. He will receive fees and penalties for that.
Fine.
Okay.
In terms of fraud, that man is guilty. Okay. Yes. I'm so sorry, but he is guilty because we're gonna break out textbook definition. All right. So the reason why he is guilty of fraud is because the speaker must intend that the person whom they make the statement to is going to rely on that statement. And the individual hearing that must be reasonably harmed by the lie that has been told, as demonstrated by the plaintiff. That has happened several times. So unfortunately, that man is guilty of fraud. Now let's see, which crimes are we glossing over here? Intimidation. I'm going to say that he is not guilty. The government sets the bounty. The argument that was presented was that his bounty and him being referred to as God Usopp were things that could be considered intimidation. Unfortunately, I do not agree with the facts that have been presented. And then let's see, what are we forgetting here? Vigilantism.
Treason, vigilantism, and piracy.
Right. So now we're going to get down to the ones that were difficult for me. Okay. So, piracy, unfortunately, that man is guilty. He is a self-proclaimed and admitted pirate. It has come out of his mouth. I will not say anything about the people that he decides to fraternize with in his off time. However, he has openly admitted to being a gang member. Now we're going to continue on. And let's see, what are we missing here? Let me go back to my notes. Treason. Not guilty. What was presented to me for treason was that some masked individual shot down a world government flag. I have no proof that this masked individual referred to Soga King or Sniper King is responsible for shooting it down. We have no evidence that that is Usopp. I'm so sorry.
That doesn't make any sense. The government stopped looking for Soga King and looked for Usopp because they're the same person.
Mick Foley entered the Royal Rumble 3 times with different people. In one Royal Rumble. He was Dude Love, Mick Foley, Mankind. One Royal Rumble.
Look, I'm so sorry. I have no proof that was Usopp, okay?
You're appealing this. What the
hell? It was on video. It was on video. I didn't see Usopp.
Usopp walked onto the train and then walked off the Soga King. Soga King was not seen going onto the train. They're the same person.
We don't have
proof. Was at Water 7.
We have no proof. I saw the video. I watched the video behind the scenes while y'all were arguing y'all case. I saw no Usopp. All right. So we're gonna
miscarriage of justice, Your Honor.
Look, you got to come with some better facts. Okay, I'm gonna need some visuals. Okay, some witnesses. Something you can't. No witnesses, no video to argue. I don't know what you want me to do. I can only go with the facts that are presented. Okay,
where's the prosecution?
You got the white looking like this.
Oh my gosh!
We're definitely
feeling unsafe. All right. Now, I feel like we've covered all of them, correct? Was there a charge that I missed?
Piracy, intimidation, treason, disturbing the peace.
That's everything.
That's everything. Hold on. Technically not the vigilantism, but I suppose I already know your verdict when it came to that.
No. I just gave you the answer for the vigilantism, right? Oh, no, vigilantism. No, I did not give you an answer for that. That's a tough one. Do we have evidence?
I mean, beyond everything that was explained today, I guess not.
How can you be a pirate and a vigilante? It's one or the other. If you're going to charge him as a vigilante, you can't charge him as a pirate.
Running around as a masked man, trying
That's
to
not him.
Identity, proclaiming justice.
Objection!
It was already proven that was a different person. He has a theme song already. He hails from Sniper Island.
We will be appealing this.
You're gonna have to appeal it, okay, prosecutor? Because at the end of the day, you can't have contradictory charges. You're gonna have to choose one. Okay?
It's Sierra Village or Sniper Island. Which one is he from?
It's the same guy. He's from Sierra Village.
See, you know what? The next thing you're gonna tell me is that Spider-Man is Peter Parker. I don't believe you.
Can't believe it. He's taking pictures of Spider-Man.
Exactly. How is he gonna be Spider-Man if he's taking the photos?
How's Clark Kent getting these interviews of Superman and you telling me they're the same person? Come on, man.
Questions that don't have answers.
This is a travesty of justice.
Well, you know what?
This is
We
a
just gonna have to
mystery.
see you in appeals court. Perhaps you'll have a different judge and you'll do better in their court. But in my courtroom, that man is gonna get he'll walk in a little bit.
It is what it is. We're here now.
But once we locked in, ain't no switching up.
Definitely gonna appeal this to the court of Judge Jay.
You know what? I know that judge personally. I'm gonna have to give him a call offline so we can discuss how we're gonna wrap up this Rico case.
We'll have to run this back because I would definitely like to appeal some of these charges on Zoro because you can't give me piracy. And I would definitely go back through and see if Zoro ever said, I'm a pirate. I feel like he did to Tashigi.
Didn't.
I can't speak on that, but I don't recall that ever coming up in conversation. I only know two dumbasses who talk about being pirates very openly and loudly.
Nah, 3. Chopper definitely proclaims being a pirate too.
Oh, don't even get me started on that little furry bastard. I can't wait. I'm gonna eat that little motherfucker up.
It's that man's anniversary, and I am not putting his client's name in my mouth. All right.
Are we about to get to the last person we picked up in East Blue? We got one more.
Sanji?
I think we got Sanji next. I don't even know how we gonna logistic that. That's gonna hit that. We gonna have to talk about that backstage. I was talking to one of my kids, and then we was like, that might just turn into the mini crimes of Sanji, and that just might be my panel. That might not be anime court.
Yeah, Sanji committed a lot of crimes. Like he's done. I can't defend Sanji.
I can't either. I don't want to.
All right, we're gonna have to put something in a hat, and we're just gonna have to like roll the wheel, and somebody gonna get stuck doing it.
Like
Mikey, we're gonna make Mikey do it.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. At this point,
like if I have to show up at this boy's house and make him, I'm gonna be right there behind the scenes, pulling a Nami climb attack, beating his ass upside the head. But
gotta defend a known villain. Facts. This is where we go.
This is where we go. We got to put Mineta on Sanji because this is same level.
Look, I'm excited. I can't wait. I mean, if y'all want to do this in tandem, I would love to prosecute his ass. We need a team because I got charges that I can think of right now.
Honestly, look, we'll talk about this later, but let's go ahead.
I personally like Sanji as a character. I do not like the things that he does, and I can't forgive bro for like almost putting everybody at risk and dying at Fishman Island. Like, I get what you went through for 2.5 years, but dog, that's you damn near died every time you took a look.
Nah, it was the smelling women's hair for me. Showing up.
It was the I want to be invisible so I can go keep on women, and that was the one power that you wanted.
Blocked that shit out. I blocked it out, man. I'm so man.
Damn, talk about character assassination when you got to defend Sanji. Nobody will ever forgive you.
Not it.
You can't come back from it.
Reputation ruined forever.
Me. See this? I'm doing it first.
That sounds like a bad guy job. Somebody let him know.
We're gonna be on Mikey's ass and let him know you gotta defend Sanji next week. Like, I can be dripped out in all the Akatsuki gear I want and still not want to do that shit. I don't want to be that bad guy. So sounds like Usopp kind of got off. I'm gonna call this one.
He got one guilty. He got 2 guilty verdicts. The piracy and the fraud. That's fine. That's all right.
He's being held accountable. It's fair.
And honestly, those are probably the most important ones. But the weapons manufacturing getting off is probably the most egregious thing here. I can't get behind that.
It's legal though. It's legal.
It's
Now that the case is wrapped up, I will say there were so
fraud.
many other charges I was afraid that you were going to get him for
I didn't
that you
have
just
time.
left off.
I didn't have fucking time. I was doing my
Like-
research and I'm like an hour before showtime, and I'm like, damn,
Breaking and entering, because they definitely entered Marine bases, and like
see,
trespassing was another one.
See, but that's the thing. That's all part of the treason charge. Like, you can't have that, and I have to get past the fact that he's disguised the Soga King before I can get to all of that shit.
Nah, because they broke into places that they should have never definitely been at.
The only one of them was a government facility. Usopp has only ever been at Marine, and he wasn't at Marineford. He was only at Emmy's lobby.
Yeah, but he definitely broke into naval bases, and he's done shit that he shouldn't have been
I
at.
would like to count the filler because
Oh, that one time that was a great
I
filler.
would love to count that because Don Coriano is probably the funniest shit that he lied about. But
I love one gif of Luffy behind the
but I can't. I'm gonna do my best not to bring filler into these arguments. But to be fair, that Don Coriano thing was straight up fraud.
I mean, honestly, even if you got them as trespassing on Egghead, because Egghead is technically a government island, that'd be twice that they trespassed on a government island. One being Punk Hazard, and the second being Egghead.
To be fair, I don't think. Again, I have to get past the. I had to get past the Emmy's lobby one. That was the one that I needed to make sure we got through. But it is what it is. We'll appeal, but it was fun. I'll talk to y'all later.
See, Dwight's ready to go. He don't even want to talk to us no more. See what you did, Ma. It's
I
your
mean,
fault.
it's not
We didn't
necessarily
get the
that.
episode, and the White's ready to get off. All right,
I
y'all.
thought we did.
We've just been rambling on the back end, but I am all your favorite friendly neighborhood menace. Clearly, you've heard Dwight trying to get off. You can find me at anywhere that you look on socials. If you type in Blurred X Trap House and you see it, it's me. If it's not me, report that shit. That hoe's a fraud. They worse than Usopp. They're worse than Soga King because Usopp got off, except on fraud. On Facebook, you can find me at UNAB Network and Climb Attack My Ass. You can find me next week back here in the Trap House as we discuss. I have no idea what we discussed, but we'll know about it next week and we'll let you know. There'll be promo. Check us out on Instagram, everywhere else you can find me. You know, you can find Princess Monohoke anywhere you can type in Princess Monohoke. You can find the White back in the Trap House on Saturday. Probably not an anime court. I'd like to say we will not be here for anime court because Sanji's definitely the bad guy. I might show up as the judge, but I definitely ain't defending this motherfucker.
I mean, we'll pull the name out of a hat for the plaintiff because that's basically who picked one.
Yeah, no, we throw this one to Mikey. We will throw this one to Fluke the villain one more time. If Jay Will is watching, we just want to say happy anniversary, my boy. And if Shownuff is out there watching, we just like to say happy birthday. But to all our viewers watching, we would like to say thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're not watching on YouTube, go back. Follow us on Blurred X Trap House. You can find all of our videos that don't make it to the labs on there. We will be reposting more stuff and things that we have in the queue, from our D&D episodes to just behind the scenes stuff that I do at a lot of cons. I show up at a lot of fucking cons. So yeah, look out for more content and stuff exclusively headed to our YouTube. You can catch us next week. We are out. Peace, y'all. Going to go watch the Lions.